Good afternoon, all of you. Welcome back to the Codes and System Security Lab. So far in this practical, we performed many projects, many experiments. Right? So we had started discussing about, we experimented about Caesar cipher encryption technique, and then we performed about affine cipher. After that, I will give you a practice experiment, which is one-time padding. This was a practice experiment. I'll be preparing a separate Google form. You need to do the program and you need to upload the write-ups completely with the coding. I will not provide any coding. Student, if you are facing any difficulties to write the code for this one-time padding, I can share the code with you, right? If you're not able to understand, even after sharing the code, I'll be ready to help you to understand the logic as well as the coding part as well, right? So this was an additional practice experiment which was already informed to you, then followed by we performed about RSA algorithm, then Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. Then in the last week, we performed about Elgamal digital signature algorithm. Actually, first one A was Caesar cipher, and the one B was our affine cipher. This is our second experiment. Third experiment, sorry, this is 1C. Sorry, this is 1C. This is second. This is third. This is 4 by number, but it total which includes 3 plus 6, 3 plus 3, which we performed 6 individual experiments. But when it comes to the number, there are 4 experiments we performed, right? In this practical, we'll be performing an experiment which is based on our data encryption standard. Okay, if you remember the parameters of data encryption standard, anyone can unmute and say the answer. What is the plain text block size in DES? Anyone from the participant? What is the plain text block size?
64-bit,
Good. And the key size, which is
64,
64. And after permitted choice 1, what is the key size, which is? Anyone else? Anyone else? What is the permitted choice 1 key values? I'm not seeing the chat box now. You can unmute and say the answer. Which is 56 after permitted choice 2, which is 48. Okay. So these are the certain parameters, and when it comes to the plain text again, so this is going to divide it into 32, 32, right? So these are the parameters, right, which comes under data encryption standard. But when we recall the technique or the method how the data encryption standard algorithm works, so here we'll have a 64-bit plain text. So here we'll have 64-bit key. So this, give me a second. This is plain text, right? This data encryption standard algorithm which works based on a Fiestel cipher technique. Now this 64-bit plain text which are going to divided into two of 32-bit each, right? Now similarly this out of this 64-bit, right? So using the permitted choice 1, right, we are going to have 56-bit which is 28 and 28 in size, right? After this, here we are going to perform left shift operation. Also here in this block also we'll perform the left shift operation. From this, out of this 56, so here 64, we are getting a 56 using permitted choice 1, and from this 28 and 28 56, and we are going to get only 48. So here this the key value which will be reduced to 48 from 56 using permitted choice 2. Now this 32-bit value of right plain text, so this is left of plain text, now this is right of plain text. Okay, I'm just quickly recapping the things because already I explained more about the data encryption standard. Just to understand the practical point of view, I'm just recalling and correlating the concepts, right? Now this 32-bit plain text again which are going to be expanded, because so here we have the key which is equal to 48 in size, so here the plain text are just 32. So in order to equal the length of the plain text as well as the key, now we need to map this 32 value into 48-bit value using some operation, that is using ER expansion table expansion operation. So here we'll pad some additional bits through which no our 32-bit value which will be converted to 48. Just I'll just bring this here. So this 48-bit value, now this 48, this plain text. So whatever the value which comes here is the plain text. The plain text value which are going to be XORed with the 48-bit key, and so this will produce 48. After that, the outputs are in 48 in size. Now again this 48-bit values again which are going to be reduced to 32-bit using SBox operation, right? So at the end of the SBox operation we'll get 32-bit. How the SBox will work? So you'll have 8 SBoxes where each SBox will get 6 input values. From that it will produce 4 values. Out of this, the first and last element which will be considered for the row, and this we will consider for a column. When you take about this SBox value, so here we'll have the 4 rows which will start from 0 to 15. So here I have the values, right? We can find out the row and then corresponding column intersection value. So that will be the output for this SBox 1. Similarly, you'll have S8 SBoxes. So 8 into 6 which will accept the 48-bit input, this, and each SBox will produce a 4 output. So 8 into 4 will get 32-bit output. So here this will produce a 32-bit output. Now this 32-bit output again that is going to be applied to the permutation. So this could be any random permutation to increase the complexity, right? Once if the permutation is done and followed by, I hope the contents are visible whatever I'm writing on the open board. So here we'll get a 32-bit value. Now this 32-bit value again which is going to be XORed with the left 32, left of 32 value which is there, and whatever the results which we got from the operations we performed at the right hand side value. So here now this is 38, sorry, 32-bit plain text of the left, and then 32-bit of intermediate ciphertext what we uh, calculated after permutation value. So both the values are applied to the XOR operation. So this will produce a 32-bit value. Now this 32-bit value will become the left half of the data. Right, sorry. Now this will be the right half of the data. One second, I'll just erase it. So here, whatever the data which we add before processing expansion operation, this entire 32-bit data, right, which will become the left 32 here. This is left 32, and whatever the operation here we are getting, so that will become the right 32 value for next round operation. So here this entire box start from the expansion operation till the permutation operation. So these are the a sequence of operation which will be performed or called under the step 1 or step 1 round functions, round of operation. Similarly, right, so when it comes for the second step will start from here, left 32 data, right 32 data. So again from here we'll get the 26 20, I mean 28 28 56. Again from this, again with the help of the left shift, again here also left shift, and so we'll produce 48-bit value, 48-bit key value. So this, the process of every time generating a key from 56, first it was 64, 64 to 56, 56 to 48. So this every time will generate a key, so that key which will be used for each round. So the process of generating this key from the master key, which is called a sub key generation. Okay, I hope now this you are clear with the contents which is related to the DES basic algorithm, right? How the encryption is takes place, right? What are the key values, and then plain text size, and what are the subsequent operation performed in the each round of operation. If you have any queries regarding the theoretical explanation part, quickly you can write in the chat box. Any queries? Okay, thank you for your response. So if you are clear with this, I can share the coding part. I'll try to explain how this key generation algorithm works. First I'll demonstrate the code, then I can start explaining the code line by line. Okay, before that you will try to understand how the program executes, then I'll explain with the logic. Now I hope you can see the execution window. If you can see it, and anyone can acknowledge. I'm not able to see the chat box which is hidden behind the screen. Anyone can anyone can unmute and say the answer. Can you see the execution window of C program?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you for your responses. Okay. Now, this is asking for easy understanding. I took the input size is very small, right? Because if you take a bigger input size, again, it requires a lot of computational times as well as resources. Again, the coding will be bit complex, right? For easy understanding, I just consider only the smaller elements. Like instead of a 64-bit, I just took only the 10 bits. I'm going to perform the operation with the only of 10 bits, right? The size doesn't matter, but the logic is more important. So I'm going to enter the values, say for example, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Again, in order to understand the logic in under how the coding part is works, right, I just took the numbers in this serially, so that how the shuffling and how other operations are performed, which will be easily understood. Now, so here, whatever the value which we entered, this is the first the key your p10 key. That means that your the 10-bit key or 10 value key, which is here whatever the value which I've entered, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, how it has done, right? It is divided into two half, right? So and then it was mapped with the left half of the data and then right half of the key which are shuffled. So left of the data which has become the right half of the data which become the left half of the data. Similarly, how we did, right? So here this is an additional one, right? So you can use any technique, right? So 6 7 8 9 0, the last 5 bit which came as the first bit, and then the second, I can change the color if you want. Okay, so here you got this. I hope now you can see the screen, right? Which is the data shuffled, right? And then 1 2 3 4 5. So left half of the data and then right half of the data is interchanged, and followed by they are doing that shift operation. So here we are doing the left shift operation, right? So here whatever data which is coming at the end, which is staying in the second, which comes up the first one. So 7 8 9 0. And also in the shifting also, instead of using this the first letter, and they are using the second letter as the first letter again. So here this will increase the complexity. Even if the attacker get the key, he will not be able to guess what kind of data which is used. Every time they are ignoring one bit and they are adding the same bit, they are replicating it, right? So here again the left shift, one bit left shift, which will be 2 3 4 5, again followed by 2. Give me a second. Sorry, it was an official call. Hmm. I was explaining about, right. So this was again left shift one. After that, right, again we are reducing to the key to the say for example. So here let's assume this is 10-bit key, and then we are doing the left shift and followed by we are reducing it to 8-bit key. So here how the reducing can be done means, so here we can ignore the last value. So here every after bit, right, so the fifth bit as well as 10th bit key value which can be ignored. So out of the 10-bit values, right, after shuffling, right, now they are going to ignore the first or no, the fifth bit as well as the 10th bit values, right. So they are going to consider only these the element which are positioned in the particular digit 6 7 8 9 and then 1 2 2 4, right. I'll erase this part quickly so you'll understand it. So here what is the element which is present in the sixth position, which is 2. So 2 4 6 6 7 8 9, which is 2 3 4 5. These four elements, right, and followed by 1 2 3 4, right. So here what are the elements of 1 2 3 4 7 8 9 0? This, and followed by the entire key which we have entered 1 2 3 4 9 0, right. I hope this is clear how this can be correlate with the key generation concept which I explained. So here I just consider it is the master key is of 10-bit. You can consider this with the 64-bit. After that we are doing the left shift operation, right, and from that, right, we are generating this 8-bit key which is again a 56-bit key. So you can extend this one more step, again you can reduce this to 6-bit key, right, randomly you can select again, so that will become a 48-bit key. So for to reduce the complexity, I stopped with the only one step of operation. This is a master key and followed by the left shift operation and followed by the reduction operation. So here this will be the sub key generated for each round. Again, if you want, we can write this code so as many times. So now for the second round, for the second step, so now this will be the key k1. So from this again, the key again which will be developed again for step 2, and then so this will be repeated for as many times you required. So this continuous, this function can be written in the for loop, so that every time the corresponding the key value which will be generated for each round. Any queries regarding the demonstration part? Sorry, give me a second. Okay, I got a positive and sorry, I got a positive acknowledgement from your end. So it's a green signal for me to proceed with the coding explanation. Okay, I'll switch the window. Before that, I'll just erase all the annotations. I'll share the code with you, right? Because the code which I've executed, I'll check it. I'm sharing the code, online compiler code in the chat box. You can make use of the code. Okay, let me start explaining the coding part. So here, this is a header file which is required. So you can import as many header file which is required for your program explanation based on the library or based on the function which you use in the programming, right? Again, so integer function, and based on that, and I'm declaring the variable which is count value. So in order to initialize as well as the reduce values, and then some temporary value. So here I am deciding that, so here the p8 value, so here, so this the user defined value. So if you wanted to change the pattern and which from the available data, so here see here the 10th value I am deciding that, suppose if I am getting a 10 values, 10 bit value. So for example 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 out of that. So here you can customize the position, right? So based on that, whatever you want, say for example, so this can be written as that, out of these two value, right? You can write the position like, so 1 10 2 and 9, then 3 8, so 4 7, so 5 6. So again, so this value can be customized by the user, right? So here you can decide the value, right? If it is a 10 digit, so this is kind of initial permutation. I hope this is clear. What is meant by this permutation operation? If you are clear with this, what is this permutation operation? Anyone can acknowledge or write in the chat box. What is this permutation operation? Permutation. Your active participation is expected from everyone, right? It does not mean that, okay, shuffling of words, right? So here the permutation is the part of transposition technique, right? When we talk about the transposition, the position of the values, right? So here, say for example, if this is for easy understanding, I'm writing this, the college, if this is the value, say for example, whether it is a plain text or key, the position of the letters, right, which can be rearranged. So college can be written as LELGCEO, right? So if you are doing the changes in the position of the values, right, so that will give the complete different information. So here this can be called as a transposition, right? In order to do the transposition, so here we are using that permutation values, initial permutation, we used to say that, right? So here the initial permutation, we can randomly, we can decide the position, right, which can be shuffled randomly, on which the character or the bits are present in the particular position. Okay, so similarly, right, again, so I'm going to get the different input values. So input which is 11 in size, k1 value, k2 value, and then which are in the array values, again left shift and then right shift value. So initially just I am taking the 10-bit value, so that I'm just taking that my left shift as well as right shift value which are equal to 5 5. So say for example here the entire value which can be consider, or you can rewritten as for 64-bit based on the permutation table which is given in the textbook, which is Cryptography and Network Security by William Stallings. For that you may need to write the positions right here based on the table which is given by this is your textbooks. From this you can refer the positions are the particular bits which are placed in what location. Accordingly you can define it for the 64 bits and then 56 bits, right? So you can do the initial permutation. If you want I can open this slide and then I can show, right, how the bits are shuffled. Okay, and followed by, so now this is our printf statement through which the user will display something, right, enter 10 bits value, and followed by, so here we are going to get the character as input because it is declared in the character data type. So here which we will get percentage s, and followed by, right, so here the 10th position which we are going to map it to, so 0 to 9, and then followed by the null character, right? I hope till this part are you clear with this, the coding explanation? If you want I can repeat here the first p8 of 8 which can be defined by the user, or p10 of 10 which can be defined by the user, whatever the value which we are going to get here. So what is the statement? So here enter the 10-bit inputs. So suppose if I am entering this 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now here I have entered the 10-bit value, and using this, if my int p of 10 which will be based on that whatever the value which is stored here, right, so the positions which is based on the position value which I have given, so 6 7 8 9, which is this part, right? So here 6 sorry 5 6 7 8 9, right? 6 7 8 9, and right, and this is 1 to 5, 0 1 to 5. So here followed by 0 1 2 3 4, right? So here we can write the values randomly, right, depends upon the user, and accordingly the corresponding position bits are going to be mapped. Is it clear? I'll check it. Okay, what about others? I got 3 acknowledgements so far. And what about others? Should I assume are you all clear with the explanation part?